Hello students. Next topic, chapter number 2, seed and fruit formation. First come to the topic seed. We know that in case of the angiosperms, seed is called as the final product of the sexual reproduction. Means after sexual reproduction, what we get at the last, we get the seed. Okay, it is often described as a fertilized ovule. Seeds are formed inside the fruits. We know that the fruit is what? Fruit is called as a ripened ovary and seed is called as a ripened ovule. And we know that the seeds develop inside the fruit. Okay, our typical seed, when we come to the structure of the typical seed, it consists of 1 to 2 seed coats, 1 to 2 cotyledons. You know what is cotyledons? Cotyledons are the very important structures which stored food for the later development of the embryo. Okay, in some type of the organisms, in some type of the plants which are the monocot, they are having the one type or one number of the cotyledon called as the monocot, and the other set of the plants who's having the two number of the cotyledons called as the dicot. Okay, so a seed typically consists of seed coat, cotyledons and an embryo axis. Now next point, the cotyledons of the embryo are simple structures. Generally they are thick and swollen due to the storage of the food reserve. So what is the function of the cotyledons? Their main function is to store the food. So what is the function of cotyledon? Its main function is to food, which in future is used by an embryo for the development of any embryo. Okay. Next is mature seeds may be of two types. First called as the non-albuminous seeds and the other one called as the ex-albuminous seeds. What are non-albuminous and ex-albuminous? Actually, non-albuminous seeds are the one we do not have any residual endosperm, as it is completely consumed during the embryonic development. Means at the time of the embryonic development, whatsoever be the endosperm is present as the reserve food material is used by the developing embryo. Okay, so the seeds in which the endosperm is completely used up called as the non-endospermic seeds, and the other ones in which the resistant part or the residual part of the endosperm persists, then it is called as the albuminous seed. It retains the part of the endosperm as it is not completely used up during the embryonic development. And examples are wheat, maize, barley, castor and sunflower. So for your examination point of view, the difference between the albuminous and non-albuminous seed is quite important, as well as their examples are very important. Okay. And occasionally in case of some of the seeds, such as for example the black pepper and beet, the remnants of the nucellus, that is the बचा हुआ आपका nucellus present होता है, it also persists and it is called as the residual persistent nucellus is called as perisperm. Okay, once again I am repeating. First is the non-albuminous type of the seeds and the second one called as the albuminous type of the seed. So while writing the difference between the ex-albuminous, so first point is called how you write the difference between the albuminous and the non-albuminous. In case of the albuminous, you can write that the seed contains special type of the tissue. For example, you are called as the endosperm. And in case of ex-albuminous or the non-albuminous, the endosperm is absent. Okay. Second point, you can write the food is stored in the form of the endosperm, and in case of the ex-albuminous, the food is stored in the cotyledon, are used up but not in the somewhere else, some other tissues. Okay, the reserve food material is present in some other organs, but the endosperm is completely lost. Okay, examples in case of albuminous, castor or maize, or in case of the ex-albuminous, the bean is an example. Okay, then very important thing is black pepper. In case of the black pepper and beet, remnants of the nucellus present. This is called as the perisperm. What it is called as? It is called as perisperm. Okay, now first come to the structure of the seed. How the seed is to be defined. We know that students, we know that what is seed? It is the fertilized ovule. So as the fertilized ovule increases in size, it develops into the seed. Okay, so the ovule, the integument of the ovule give rise to the seed coat. So when we are talking about the structure of the seed, the integuments of the ovule converted into the seed coat, which has hard testa and a very thin membranous structure called as the tegmen. So two important structure, first is the testa and other one is the tegmen. Okay, when we come to the dicotyledonous plants, the food material present in the form of the endosperm is completely absorbed by the cotyledons, okay, which becomes thick and fleshy, but in some endosperm persist within the seed. After fertilization, we know that usually synergids, antipodals, they all disorganize, and the nucellus also used up. Okay, these all are the post fertilization changes which are occurring. Okay, all the organs get disorganized and the nucellus, they all get used up, but in sometimes the nucellus persists in the form of the perisperm in some of the seeds. Okay, now come to the next point. The ovary, we know that the ovary develops into the fruit after the fertilization, and morphologically we know that when we see the fruit, what is fruit? Fruit is a kind of the ripened, it is a ripened ovary. Okay, it is written here, it is a ripened ovary. What is fruit? Fruit is a ripened ovary. And we know that the ovary wall, when it matures, they form the wall of the fruit, also called as the pericarp. Okay. So what is pericarp? Wall of the fruit known as pericarp. Okay. So now come to the fate of the various parts of the ovary represented in the fruit. For example, we know that the ovary wall changes into the pericarp, ovule change into the seed, and the funicle into the stalk of the seed, hilum into the hilum remains the hilum, nucellus, in some cases when the nucellus persists, it is called as the perisperm. Okay, when it is present, micropyle remains as it is, outer integument called as the forms the seed coat called as the testa, and the inner integument beta known as the tegmen. Okay, now come to the embryo sac. In case of the embryo sac, the synergids which were present earlier, now they get disorganized, and the egg cell changes into the embryo, and the antipodal cells again they get disorganized, and the secondary nucleus into the endosperm. Okay, now come to the next slide. The micropyle remains as a small pore in the seed coat. This facilitate. So what is the function of the micropyle? The condition is that what is the function of the micropyle? The function, it is called as the small pore. Okay, what is it? It is a small pore present in case of the seed coat, and its function is to facilitate. It helps. What it helps? It helps the entry of the oxygen and water into the seed during the germination. At the time of the germination, the seed gets the oxygen, it gets the water from the micropylar region. Okay, so as the seed matures, the water content inside the seed get reduced and they become relatively dry. Okay, the general metabolic activity of the embryo slows down, and these all are the important events which are occurring in the seed after the once the process of the fertilization gets over. Okay, what happens now? The whatever the content of the water is present, it gets dried up. Now the embryo may enter a state of inactivity. Okay, this is called as the inactive state. Inactive state of the embryo is known as dormancy period. Okay, it is called as an dormancy period. I am repeating once again. The embryo may enter a state of inactivity called dormancy, or if students, the favorable or the appropriate environmental conditions which are favorable for the germination of the seed are present, then the germination of the seeds takes place. If suppose the environmental conditions are not favorable amount of water, the temperature is not present, at that case the seed undergoes a process known as the dormancy. So what is important? This term is important, dormancy. That what is dormancy? Okay, now come to the next. Oxygen suitable temperature, they germinate. As ovules mature into seeds, the ovary develops into a fruit. Okay, for ovary, what is the fate? Okay, I discussed earlier that the ovary wall develops into the pericarp. Again I am repeating, the ovary wall develops into pericarp, ovules develops into seed, and the funicle into the stalk of the seed, and the hilum remains as it is. Nucellus, if suppose the nucellus present, it converts into the perisperm, and the outer integument forms the testa, inner integument called as the tegmen, synergids disorganized, antipodals disorganized, secondary nucleus converted into the endosperm, and egg cell into the embryo. Okay, now as ovule matures into seed, the ovary develops into fruit. For example, that is the transformation of the ovules into the seeds and ovary into fruit proceeds simultaneously. The wall of the ovary develops into the wall of the fruit. We know that the wall of the fruit called as the pericarp. Okay, the fruits, again there are so many types of the fruits are there. First, we know that what is fruit. The definition of the fruit, it is in an ripened ovary. It is a ripened ovary, and how it is formed? It is formed after the fertilization. Okay, so after fertilization, the ripened ovary converts into the fruits. The ripened ovary called as the fruit. Okay, which provides a stimulus to the ovary to grow into a fruit. So for some reasons, fertilization phase, then the ovary simply withers and falls off. For example, mean to say that sometimes when the fertilization not occurs, at during that time, the ovary withers away. Okay, and falls down. But in certain plants, the fruit may be formed without the act of the fertilization. Again, this is very important, students. Sometimes the fruit is formed without fertilization. It is called as the parthenocarpic fruits. So what they are called as? They are called as parthenocarpic fruits. Okay, I discussed it later on. Now first come to the first point. The fruits may be fleshy, for example in case of the guava, oranges, mango, etc., or they may be dry as in case of the groundnut and mustard, etc. Okay, many fruits have evolved mechanism for dispersal of seeds. In most plants, by the time the fruit develops from the ovary, other floral parts degenerate and falls off. However, in few species such as apple, strawberry, cashew, etc., the thalamus. Okay, in this point we are going to discuss about the true fruits and the false fruits. Okay, so before discussing it, I would like to discuss about the structure of the fruit. For example, mean to say the fruit is, what is fruit? It consists of the pericarp, okay, that develops from the ovary wall. We know that the pericarp is the fruit wall, develops from the ovary wall, okay, and the seeds derived from the ovule. We know that they derive from the ovule. So the pericarp, it may be very thin, it may be thick. Usually it may be differentiated into bit of outer one is called as the epicarp, middle one is called as the mesocarp, and the inner one is called as the endocarp. So the pericarp again differentiated into three important layers. Outer one called as the epicarp, middle one known as the mesocarp, and the inner one called as the endocarp. Okay, but in case of the dry fruits, the pericarp undifferentiated, and usually they are papery and woody. That's why I discussed this point before discussing this point. Okay, once again I am repeating, listen to me very carefully. What is fruit? Fruit is a ripened ovary. जब पक जाता है उसको आप ओवरी बोलते हैं. ओके, राइपेंड ओवरी को हम फ्रूट बोलते हैं. इन सम टाइम्स व्हेन द fertilization not occurs, during that time the ovary withers away and fall down. But once the fertilization is over, then the ripened ovary is called as the fruit. Now the fruit, we know that the fruit wall is called as the pericarp, and it may be differentiated into three important layers. Outer one called as the epicarp, middle called as the mesocarp, and the inner one called as the endocarp. But the structure is seen is quite different in case of the dry fruits. In case of the dry fruits, undifferentiated type of the pericarp is present, called as the papery, or it may be papery or woody. Is that clear to everyone? Okay, now come to the next point. We know that, students, when a fruit develops exclusively from the ovary, means when the ovary completely participated in the formation of the ovary, in the formation of the fruit, then such type of fruits are called as true fruits. For example, the mango, guava, grapes, etc., they all are the examples of the true fruits. Okay, but there is some exception in which addition to the ovary, some other floral parts, for example tepals, you know what is tepals, the unit of the perianth, okay, they participate in the formation of the fruits. Even the thalamus, okay, pyrus, that is apple, okay, also participate in the formation of the fruit, and they, such type of the fruits are called as false fruits and also called as the pseudocarps. Okay, for example apple, pear, cashew, ananas, mulberry, etc. So two type of fruits are with us. First are called as the true fruits, and other one known as the other one called as the false fruits. So while writing the difference between the true fruits and the false fruits, we can write for true fruits are the one which develop only from the ovary part of the flower, and the false fruits are the one which develops other than the ovary. Apart from the ovary, other floral parts also participate in the formation of the fruit. Okay, pericarp forms the outer part of the fruit in case of the true fruits, and in case of the false fruits, commonly the outer part of the fruit is formed by the thalamus. Okay, examples also, for example in case of the true fruits, mango, grapes, guava, and in case of false fruits, cashew, apple. Okay, now come to the next point. Although in most of the species Fruits are the results of fertilization. We know that fruits are formed after the fertilization, but in some plants, without fertilization, the formation of fruits takes place. This is a question of your board exam. What are parthenocarpic fruits? What is parthenocarpy? What is parthenocarpy? Give an example. So parthenocarpy is called as when the fruit formation of the fruits occurs without the fertilization, and for the parthenocarpy to occur, it can be induced through the application of the growth hormone. Beta, this is very important. The name growth hormone is very important. Okay, and such fruits are seedless. The fruits which are formed after the parthenocarpy, they are seedless. They do not have any kind of the seeds with them. Okay, now come to the advantages offered by the seeds. What are the benefits of the seeds? कुछ तो उसका importance होगा ना. Significance of the seeds, क्या है significance? Since we know that since reproductive process such pollination and fertilization dependent of water, seed formation is more dependable. Okay, seeds have better adaptive strategies for dispersal to new habitat and help the species to colonize. We know that if the seeds are spreading from one place to other, it will be a very good, it is a very important type of the structure in which the new seeds are going to be generated. Beta, new type of the seeds are going to be germinate into new type of the plants. Okay, so seeds have the better adaptive strategies, dispersal to the new habitats, and help the species to colonize in other areas. We know that as seeds have sufficient food reserves, young seedlings nourished until they are capable of photosynthesis on their own. The hard seed, we know that the hard seed coat provides protection to the young embryo. Okay, what is the function of the seed coat? Beta, they provide protection to the young embryo. Being products of the sexual reproduction, they generate new genetic combination leading to the variations. We know that the seeds are formed after the sexual reproduction, and once the sexual reproduction get over, they produce the new type of the seeds having very important type of the genetic combinations which lead to the variations. Variations means differences. Okay, here in front of you some diagrams from your NCERT book. See the diagrams. Thalamus region, within the fruit the seeds are present. Apple, thalamus involved in the formation of the fruit. Example of a false fruit. Okay, mesocarp, endocarp. Then the structure of, in the next PPT I will discuss about the structure of the monocot and the dicot seed. Okay, now come to the next point. We know that seed is the basis of our agriculture. We know that seeds are required for agriculture purpose, and the dehydration and dormancy of the mature seed are crucial for storage of seed. For example, if suppose seeds are not dehydrated, then how we store the seed for the longer period of the time? For their storage, we need the dehydration, that is the drying period of the seeds. Okay, so dehydration and the dormancy of the mature seeds are very important for their storage purpose, which can be used as a food throughout the year and also to raise the crop in the next season. We know that for the storage of the seeds, first to dry, अगर आप मान लीजिए गीले सीड्स को रखेंगे तो बेटा वो तो जर्मिनेट कर जाएगा ना. सो फॉर ये सीड्स फॉर द बेटर स्टोरेज पर्पस वी नीड द डिहाइड्रेशन. पहले उसको ड्राई कीजिए तभी आप उसको रख सकते हैं. ओके, now very important question for you examination point of view. Oldest recorded viable seed, lupine, Lupinus architects. Okay, this is very important. Learn the name. From where it is excavated? It is getting from the Arctic tundra 10,000 years back. Okay, and date palm Phoenix dactylifera 2,000 years, excavated from King Herod's palace near the Dead Sea. Please learn the names of the seed with their period and from where they are extracted. Okay, next is in orchids. In orchid, each fruit contain thousands of tiny seeds. Similar in the case of the fruit, some parasitic species, for example Orobanche and Striga. Okay, is this much clear to everyone? Now come to the significance of the seed dispersal and the fruit formation. We know that the fruits protect the seeds. Everyone knows very well that because the seeds are present within the fruit, so the fruits protect the seeds from the unfavorable climatic conditions. And we know that besides that, they also help in the dispersal of the seeds to the distant places. Suppose students, if the seeds are collected at one places, then what is the significance of that? The significance तो उसका कोई फायदा ही नहीं होगा ना. For the economic benefits, the much and much more dispersal of the seeds to occur. जितना ज़्यादा dispersal होगा, हमें उतना ज़्यादा फायदा मिलेगा. Okay. Some fruits provide the nutrition to the developing seedlings. The edible fruits are the source of the food and the energy for the animals, which often act as the dispersal agents. Okay. And we also know that similarly, the seeds offer several advantages to the angiosperms. Seeds play very important role in case of the angiosperms. Okay. Since reproductive processes such as pollination and fertilization are independent of water, seed formation is more dependable. Besides, we know that seeds have a better adaptive strategies for the dispersal to the new habitats and help the species own. We know that when the seeds are dispersed from one place to other, in this way their dispersal also promotes the race to occur. मतलब उनकी जो race है उसको आगे continuation of the race. For the continuation of the race, the dispersal of the seeds is quite important. Okay. So the hard seed coat, what is the function of that? The hard seed coat, everyone know that it provides the protection to the young embryo. Okay, the young embryo which is present inside the seed, it is protected by the hard seed coat. Okay, being products of the sexual reproduction, we know that they generate new genetic combinations which lead to the variations. I am repeating all these points because they are very very important. Okay, dehydration and dormancy of the mature seeds, beta, they are very important. They play a very crucial role for the storage of the seeds. If suppose the dehydration and the dormancy, that is the inactive, if the seeds are not inactive for a period of time, then how could we store the seed for the longer period of time from the one season to the other season? Okay, for that storage, the dehydration and their dryness is very important. Their dormancy period is very important. Okay, now come to the next topic. What is apomixis? You know what is apomixis? Very important term. Apomixis is a type of reproduction in plants where the usual sexual reproduction is replaced by asexual means that does not involve meiosis and syngamy. Now come to the NCERT page number 38. Okay, I am explaining from there only. Although seeds in general are the product of fertilization, we know that seeds are the product of the fertilization. Okay. A few flowering plants such as some species of the Asteraceae and grasses have evolved a special mechanism. Beta, very important line, a very special mechanism opted by Asteraceae members and grasses that they produce the seeds without fertilization. बिना फर्टिलाइजेशन के सीड्स का फॉर्मेशन होना. अभी इससे पहले आज ही के आपने इसमें टॉपिक में पढ़ा है फॉर्मेशन ऑफ फ्रूट विदाउट फर्टिलाइजेशन कॉल्ड एज पार्थिनोकार्पी. बट नाउ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट फॉर्मेशन ऑफ सीड without fertilization is called as apomixis. Okay, so the apomixis is what? It is a form of asexual reproduction, but it mimics सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन. ये होता एसेक्सुअल है लेकिन ये लगता किसकी तरीके से है? इट मिमिक्स लाइक द सेक्सुअल टाइप ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन. ओके, देयर आर सेवरल वेज ऑफ डेवलपमेंट ऑफ apomictic seeds. So many kinds of methods are suggested in your NCERT book how the apomictic seeds has to be produced. For example, in first case discussed in your NCERT page number 38. In some species, the diploid egg cell is formed without reduction division and develops into embryo. What happens in the first case? What happens? The diploid egg cell is formed without reduction division. मतलब कि reduction division जो meiosis होना चाहिए था वो नहीं हुआ. Directly the diploid cell developed into the embryo without fertilization. By what is the fate? Why fertilization to occur? Fertilization is occur for the formation of the embryo. So when we get the embryo without the fertilization, हमारा तो purpose solve हो गया ना. यहाँ पे जो हमारा egg था बेटा, diploid egg था, वो directly convert हो गया किसमें? Embryo में. Okay, this is the first means to develop how to develop the apomictic seeds. Okay, more often as in many citrus, mango varieties, some of the nuclear cells cells present in the nuclear regions, okay, they surrounding the embryo sac start dividing and protrude into the embryo sac and develops into the embryo. मतलब कि वो embryo sac में अंदर जाकर के develop होकर के बेटा नए embryos का formation करेंगे. सच स्पीशीज ईच ओव्यूल कंटेन्स, उस केस में एक ओव्यूल में आपको कई सारे एम्ब्रियोज भी नजर आएंगे जिसे आप बोलते हैं पॉली एम्ब्रियोनी. अभी हम लेटर ऑन आई विल डिस्कस ऑल दिस थिंग. फर्स्ट कम टू द एपोमिक्सिस. द फिनोमिना ऑफ substitution of sexual process by asexual method is known as apomixis, and the plants which show it called as the apomictic plants, okay. According to Winker, the term apomixis refers to the substitution of sexual reproduction by any such method which does not involve meiosis and syngamy. ये एक तरीके का आपका asexual method है, but it mimics like the sexual reproduction. It is a method in which meiosis and syngamy not occurs, okay. Now come to the next page. There are 3 types of apomixis आपको दे रखा है. First is non-recurrent type of the apomixis. What happens? देखिए, the megaspore mother cell undergoes normal meiotic division and one of the 4 megaspores thus formed develops into haploid female gametophyte, that is embryo sac. We know this thing very clearly कि क्या होता है. मेगास्पोर मदर सेल जो है हमारा डिप्लॉयड है. जब वो बेटा मियोसिस करेगा तो आपके 4 हेप्लॉयड मेगास्पोर्स बन जाएंगे जो किस में डेवलप हो जाएगा, फीमेल गैमेटोफाइट, जिसे आप बोलते हैं एम्ब्रियो सैक. However, there is no fertilization and the embryo develops either from the unfertilized egg. अगर पार्थिनोजेनेसिस, हैप्लॉइड पार्थिनोजेनेसिस हो रहा है, और फ्रॉम सम अदर सेल ऑफ द एम्ब्रियो सैक, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज हैप्लॉइड एपोगैमी. इस प्रोसेस को क्या बोलते हैं, हैप्लॉइड एपोगैमी. द एम्ब्रियो दस फॉर्म्ड इज नेचुरली हैप्लॉइड. क्यों होगा हैप्लॉइड, क्योंकि वो हैप्लॉइड और एन सेल से डेवलप हुआ है, इस वजह से. The occurrence of haploid parthenogenesis is of considerable value in genetical studies as it enables to obtain true breeding homozygous forms. आपके लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बेटा नॉन रिकरेंट में क्या दिया है, नॉन रिकरेंट फिर से समझिए. द मेगास्पोर मदर सेल व्हेन इट अंडरगोज द नॉर्मल टाइप ऑफ द मियोटिक डिवीजन, इट विल फॉर्म द 4 number of the megaspores, haploid, also called develops into the female gametophyte, okay. However, when without fertilization, when the embryo develop from any unfertilized egg, also called as haploid parthenogenesis, okay, this is called as haploid एपोगैमी. क्या बोलेंगे, हैप्लॉइड एपोगैमी बोलेंगे आप इसको. कम टू द सेकेंड वन, रिकरेंट apomixis. In this, the nuclei of the embryo sac usually diploid. We know that usually the embryo sac nucleus is diploid in nature. Such embryo sac may arise either from a cell of the archisporium. When it develops from the archisporium, then it is called that the generative type of the apospory, and when it develops from other cells of the nucleus, okay, we have the nucleus, we have the archisporium. When it develops from the archisporium, then it is called that the generative type of the apospory, and but when it develops from the nucleus, it is called as somatic apospory, okay. The development of embryo from any diploid cell of the ovule means any of the diploid cell when develop into the embryo, then it is called as adventive type of embryony, okay. adventive, याद कर लीजिए नेम adventive. We know that the some plants produce the seeds without fertilization, and this is the point from your NCERT book. Again, I am explaining this. The process of the seed formation is known as apomixis. Example, Asteraceae and grasses. Seeds are produced without fertilization through apomixis. Okay. So, what is apomixis? It is a form of asexual reproduction mimicking द सेक्शुअल रिप्रोडक्शन. लगता है कि ये आपका सेक्शुअल रिप्रोडक्शन की तरह है, लेकिन होता कैसा है, ये एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन है, ओके. नेक्स्ट इज हाउ टू डेवलप, वेज टू डेवलप ऑफ द एपोमिक्टिक सीड. फर्स्ट वे, इन सम स्पीशीज डिप्लॉयड मेगास्पोर प्रोड्यूसेस डिप्लॉयड एग. दिस एग through parthenogenesis develop into an embryo. Next, in many citrus, mango varieties, some of the nuclear cells which are surrounding the embryo, they start dividing. वो divide करना start करते हैं and they protruding मतलब अंदर की तरफ जाने लगते हैं एम्ब्रियो के पास. तो एक एम्ब्रियो की जगह वहाँ कई सारे एम्ब्रियोज का फॉर्मेशन होता है एक साथ, क्योंकि सराउंडिंग सेल्स जो होते हैं वही प्रोट्यूट कर जा रहे हैं ना बेटा, जब वो प्रोट्यूट कर जा रहे हैं तो उसके बाद दे स्टार्ट बिहेविंग लाइक द एम्ब्रियोज। सो एक एम्ब्रियो के साथ साथ वहां कई सारे एम्ब्रियोज डेवलप हो जाते हैं, इसे आप बोलते हैं पॉली एम्ब्रियोनी। Okay, if these hybrids are made into apomictics, there is no segregation of the characters in the hybrid progeny. तो हाइब्रिड प्रोजेनी में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इसका क्या है, देयर इज नो सेग्रीगेशन। सेग्रीगेशन का मतलब होता है कोई कैरेक्टर्स आपके अलग नहीं हो रहे, देयर इज नो सेग्रीगेशन ऑफ द कैरेक्टर्स इन द हाइब्रिड प्रोजेनी। Okay, then the farmers can keep on using the hybrid seeds to raise new crops year after year. आप उसको सेव करके कर रख सकते हैं for the longer period of time. Why? Because no segregation of the characters occur in the hybrid progeny. Once the hybrid progeny is formed, now the segregation of the characters will not be occurred. So this is a boom to the farmers. Okay, उनको हर साल नए farmers को seeds produce नहीं करने पड़ेंगे. Is that clear? Then the farmers can keep on using the hybrid seeds to raise the new crops year after year, and he does not have to buy the hybrid seeds to raise new crops every after year. Every हर साल उसको खरीदना नहीं पड़ेगा. Okay, and he does not have to buy the seeds every year. This is very important point of the apomictic seed. Why to develop the apomictic seed? What is the importance of the apomictic seed? Actually beta, once the apomictic seeds are formed, then there is no segregation of the characters in the hybrid progeny, so the farmers can keep on using these seeds year after year. तो उनको पैसा नहीं खर्च करना पड़ेगा, ज़्यादा टाइम का बचेगा, पैसा बचेगा. ओके, इकोनॉमिक तरीके से इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द फार्मर्स. देन व्हाट इज द सिग्निफिकेंस, मैंने कोशिश किया है कि आपको अच्छे से समझ में आए, बहुत छोटे छोटे पॉइंट्स हैं. फर्स्ट इज इट इज़ अ फास्टेस्ट मेथड, cost effective method, production of the clones possible, can preserve stock of desired variety, prevents the loss of specific characters, वही segregation of characters, no segregation of the characters. Okay, how can it be commercially used? Apomixes is extensively used in hybrid seed as an industry. We can use the apomixes and the apomictic seed in the hybrid seed industry. Okay, as production of the hybrid seed is costly, we know that yes, it is very costly, and hence the cost of the hybrid seeds become too expensive for the farmers. So it will help the farmers for the cost effective purpose. Okay, वो कम पैसे में ज़्यादा काम कर सकते हैं. Is that clear to everyone? Thank you so much.